Good evening, Northern Colorado. This is George, K3SAD. N0NYY is on assignment. I am located in Windsor and will be net control for tonight's NCARC TechNet. The purpose of the TechNet is to enlighten amateur radio operators on topics of a technical nature. We will do our best to answer any technical questions to the benefit of all listening. If a subject has never been clear to you, this is an excellent opportunity to find an answer. If anyone feels they have information that will help regarding a subject, please give your call sign and net control will call on you. Reset. This net may be interrupted at any time for emergencies or priority traffic. If you need to use the system for an emergency during the net, say break 3 times in rapid succession and give your call sign. We will acknowledge you and suspend the net until you advise you are clear. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All licensed amateur radio operators with 70 centimeter privileges are encouraged to check into the net. Club membership is encouraged, but never required for participation within the net. Check-ins are requested to count participation, and no checkout is required. This is Kilo 3, Sierra Alpha Delta, net control for tonight's NCARC TechNet. When checking in, please give your call sign slowly, first alphabetically, then again using the ITU phonetic alphabet, along with your name and location. When checking in, please state if you have a topic that you would like to discuss. I will be taking check-ins in groups of 3. When I've recorded the first group of 3, I will move on to the next. Barring doubles, in the interest of time, I will read back all recorded call signs after the conclusion of the first full round of check-ins. If I've made any mistakes, please call net control with corrections at that time. I will start by taking check-ins from any Echolink users. Please be advised that Echolink users receive with a small delay and therefore respond with delay, so there will be a pronounced pause here for response. Any call signs, Alpha through Zulu, tuning in via Echolink, please call K3SAD, net control now. The internet is quiet. Okay, I will now take check-ins over the air from call prefixes Alpha through Mike. Alpha through Mike, please call now.
Hi, George. K0AZA, Kilo 0, Alpha Zulu Alpha, Ron in Fort Collins.
WA9FBO, Whiskey Alpha 9, Foxtrot Bravo Oscar, Bob in LaPorte.
This is W0KJM, Whiskey 0, Kilo Juliet Mike, Kyle, Mobile, I-25 and exit 268.
Okay, got you in there, Ron, Bob, and Kyle. Go ahead with the next 3.
K0AEM, Kilo 0, Alpha Echo Mike, Steve in Fort Collins.
Got you in there, Steve. We'll go ahead and open up to Alpha through Zulu. Alpha through Zulu, please call K3SAD net control now.
This is Kilo Bravo 0, Yankee Delta November, KB0YPM, Eric, Mobile, Loveland.
This is K5 SGC, Kilo 5 Sierra Golf Charlie, Dave in Fort Collins.
W5VV, Whiskey 5, Victor, Bill in Livermore. And I do have a question.
Okay, I got Eric, Dave, and Bill. Go ahead with the next 3.
WB5TEX, Whiskey Bravo 5, Tango Echo X-Ray, Dale, Loveland, no traffic.
AE0CF, Alpha Echo 0, Charlie Foxtrot, Bud, Fort Collins.
I got Bill, Dale, and Ben. Go ahead with the next 3.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 0, Quebec Victor Mike, Paul in Aurora on a handheld.
All right, so from the top, I got K0AZA, Whiskey Alpha 9, Foxtrot Bravo Oscar, W0KJM, K0AEM, KB0YDM, K5SGC, W5VV, WB5TEX, AE0CF, and KF0QVM. Any other check-ins for tonight's CheckNet? That's TechNet. Please call K3SAD now.
Kilo Golf 6, Oscar Bravo Charlie, KG6OBC, Justin in Fort Collins, no traffic.
Gotcha, Justin. Sounds like there's a double in there with you. Double, please go ahead.
Yeah, Dudley in Fort Collins, Whiskey 0, Oscar Zulu Juliet.
Got you in there. Go ahead with the next 3. Okay, this is K3SAD. Whiskey 5, Victor, you had a topic. Go ahead.
Roger. Yeah, it's more of a question. I have a high gain 640 vertical 8-band antenna. At the bottom of that thing, it's got, I don't know, 7 or 8 counterpoises. So they're just pieces of metal about 6 feet long, and one of them has gone MIA, or reset. I was wondering if anyone knew where I could get a replacement, even if it's not exact, just a piece of the metal that's strong enough, big enough to fit in there would be just fine. I did contact MFJ. It's more by email, and they've not responded, so I can try to contact them by phone or something later on. But I was just wondering if there was a place where you can get metal like that.
This is K3SAD. Any takers? I think you struck out. I'm not visualizing it as per usual. Can you describe the construction of the counterpoise?
Yeah, imagine like a CB antenna whip. It's 6 feet long. I don't know, maybe 3 millimeters in diameter, but it's just a straight piece of fairly flexible metal.
Flavian,
Go ahead, Eric.
is it held in place with a set screw or is it threaded?
It's a set screw.
You probably can go to any hardware store and get brass stock or stainless steel stock and get it cut to that length and put into the socket where the wire once went, and then turn the set screw to hold it in. K0YDN.net.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I have looked. Maybe I need to look harder, but I haven't been able to find anything quite that long, which may not be necessary, or that flexible. But that also may not be be necessary. But I can try that again. Thank you. W5UV.
This is K3SAD. Yeah, quite often I'm looking for something that doesn't exist, and I just wind up perusing the hardware store looking for something that fits the bill. So I think this is probably one of those occasions. Anybody else have a topic they'd like to discuss for tonight's TechNet? Please call K3SAD.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Quebec Victor Mike.
Paul and Aurora, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just recently got my general license, and I'm learning about HF stuff now, and I'm trying to figure out how long my counterpoise needs to be. It will be touching the ground, and everywhere online says, oh, you can just do a little shorter than a quarter wavelength, but I can't find any formula to tell you exactly what the right length is, and I'm wondering, is it just something you have to test and see what works, or is there a formula for it? KF0 QVM.
This is K3SAD. Any takers? I think you're going to strike out on that one. Yeah, I'd just be doing a ton of research online myself. Anyone want to take a stab at it? K3SAD.
KJM.
Go ahead, Kyle.
While I am certainly no expert, I am a general. I have set up a few field expedient antennas. It depends. The best answer I have for you is the diaper brand answer of it depends. Depends on what band you're on. It depends on your antenna setup, all kinds of things. The best answer is, like K3SAD said, do your research, but to answer your question, there is a formula. I don't know it off of the top of my head. However, the formula really just gets you in the ballpark. Having a really good SWR meter and antenna analyzer is going to get you really, really honed in. But the best answer is it depends. So what I would recommend is getting a really good antenna analyzer and going from there.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've been seeing online, but I was just wondering if there's an easier way, but I will do that. Thanks for the info. KS0QVM back to net.
MLG.
Marty, you got you checked in.
K0MLG. Good afternoon, evening. What's the antenna that you need the counterpoise for?
Well, that's a good question. I'm just sort of figuring it out. I did order a 17-foot extendable whip from Chameleon, but I have not received it yet, so it'll be for that, which I'm going to be doing POTA and SOTA with. But I'm also experimenting with building some other random wire antennas.
Okay, well, this topic could go on for a long time because there's really no such thing. Well, there is a random wire, but there's only certain lengths that really work. And then you have to have either we'll just call it a transformer, an or a balun. For your 17-foot, you'll be needing radials for that. And I would imagine anywhere between 6 to 9 foot. And several of them, like a dozen, would really get you some good ground wave pattern or ground. I can't think right now. I'm trying to cook and get an outflow from that tornado warning over in Grover. So a random wire, like for example, I run an 84-foot wire, just about 12 feet off the ground, so I can talk around the world and do VIS, which is a whole other story or subject. But that counterpoise is about 17 feet, and it just lays on the ground. Doesn't have to do anything special. You don't need an analyzer. You don't need meters. The counterpoise is just, there's no set length that they need to do.
Okay, cool. I did have one other related question. What exactly is the difference between radials and a counterpoise? Because they seem to me like basically the same thing, just the radials, you have a bunch of them.
EV, please.
Yeah, there you go. I got to get back to cooking. Let Dave. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, but he can explain it better. MLG.
This is K3SAD, K0LEV. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is W0LEV. Cut to the chase. For any vertical radiator, it's going to require a radio field or some kind of an image plane. As far as radials go, quarter wave at the lowest frequency is the best place to start. No more need be said. W0LEV, back to the kitchen.
K3SAD, calling for QVM. You good with that, or you got another question in the same vein?
No, that answers my questions, and I appreciate everyone who responded. Thank you all very much. KF0QVM, back to net.
KD02YU with a comment.
Go ahead, Joe.
I've been looking into this magic carpet, or it's basically, I think it's called ferrite cloth. It's not all that expensive, and I've heard a lot of guys had some luck with it. Also, screen material seems to be a good counterpoise, whatever you want to call the thing that lays on the ground. Anybody work with that?
LEV.
Go ahead, LEV.
I have not used magic carpet for antennas, but certainly it's conductive. I don't know how it withstands weather. Pretty much the standard for an image plane, ground plane on an OATS open air test site doing radiator emission testing is, I think they call it hardware cloth. It's dip brazed, so you don't have the no soldered twisted connections of chicken wire, and it's good. Not cheap, but it's good. And the magic cloth, yeah, it's nickel loaded weaving, and some of them also include copper. I don't know what it costs. I've used it any number of times on an OATS or anechoic chamber. And the bottom line is it would work well, but I don't know how it stands up to weather. W0LEV. I should go back to the kitchen.
TYU, any other comments?
No, but thanks. That might be something for him also, because there's a lot of YouTube videos on that. There's one guy who's done a lot of research on it. And the cloth is not expensive. I mean, I looked at one that he had, like $16 on Amazon, and free shipping and all the rest of that stuff. But I was kind of impressed with that, and he was too. He compared it to the screen, and he said there's not much difference. The only big difference is that it's easier to roll up. And so And as far as, like Dave said, I don't know how it would weather right, but for something that's portable, I think it might be the way to go. I'm going to try some.
Yeah, for soda POTA activations or portable, it's probably going to work very well. But not for permanent, because I think eventually the nickel will bleed into the ground and become, well, not so much conductive. W0LEV.
Thanks, Dave, and sorry for goofing your prefix there. Any other comments about window screen, whatever you call that, on the ground, and that sort of thing?
W0ASP, check-in and comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about vertical radiators, there are really two different kinds of counterpoises you're talking about, resonant and non-resonant. When you know what your resonant frequency is going to be, you set your vertical length accordingly, and then you set your radial lengths accordingly. But these resonant radials cannot be in or on the earth. They have to be elevated some 2 or 3 feet. Let me grab a nickel. A more universally applicable ground counterpoise is a ground screen, and that is a conductive mesh such as chicken wire or hardware cloth or a very large number of radials that are on the earth, and these are frequency independent. The elevated radial counterpoises are very frequency dependent. W0ASP, back to net.
This is K3SAD Net Control. Any other thoughts along these lines? Seems like at the end of these things I always have like 10 more pages of stuff to study. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Any other topics for tonight's TechNet? Please call K3SAD. Any other late check-ins?
KF0 PYB, late check-in, no comments or anything.
W1BAN, no comment.
KW5 USA, no comment. Whiskey 0 Lima Echo India, no comments.
Okay, I got PYB, Ivan, USA, and LEI. Any other check-ins for tonight's TechNet? All right, well, hearing none, this concludes the NCARC TechNet. Net Control would like to thank each station for their participation. We had a total of 21 check-ins tonight. This net will occur again next Monday at the same time on this repeater. This is Kilo 3, Sierra Alpha Delta, closing the net at 6:25 p.m. 7-3. Good night, everyone.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. For more information, visit our website, ncarc.net. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.